or welcome back to Chemistry with Kismet Tarot. I'm Monica, the Kismet Chemist. If you're new to my channel, welcome. Welcome to the family. I am honored to have you. If you are returning, welcome back. I have missed you. And it is an honor to have you guys too. It's an honor to have all of you guys here. I have to say, because I'm just like, I am so overwhelmed with gratitude for each and every one of you. I want to say a huge thank you. This channel has been a very slow growing channel. I feel like I do readings that aren't necessarily the norm. They're not necessarily something that you find everywhere. And as much as it feeds my creativity and it helps me feel alive and vibrant, and I know that I reach people and help you feel seen on a completely egotistical level, man, watching the numbers slow grow, it really tests a person's patience. But you guys are so absolutely incredible with feedback, with support, sharing my videos every week that I get my analytics report. Like YouTube does this fun little analytics video thing to just do a synopsis of everything. And I see how many times my videos are shared. I am absolutely astounded. I am so incredibly grateful for you guys sharing these messages out and helping this channel grow. You guys are just, you guys are a dream come true. And as I am still navigating a lot of deep depression and emotional and mental struggles in my own personal life, this channel is a true spiritual light, a true loving community. And I am so, so proud to be at the head of that. I am so proud and so honored. So thank you guys. So now that I have splurged feelings everywhere, we're going to talk about this reading. So this is about shadow contracts. Out in the spiritual community, there's a lot of talk about soul contracts. You come together with another person, there's a soul contract. But what we don't talk about a lot is shadow contracts. Our shadow side also has contracts with other people, whether it's with their light or with their shadow. Our shadow selves contract. This particular reading is focusing on how our shadows are contracted with other beings, other souls in this life, so that we can learn something about ourselves. Now, that does not mean that these are loving connections, that these are easy connections. So I will put in a trigger warning. I don't know necessarily how these readings are going to go quite yet, because I'm doing the intro first. But I do want you guys to be aware that we are going to be looking at connections that triggered our shadow sides. And even if those are the most loving connections, like my marriage is one of the most loving connections I have ever experienced. And it is intensely triggering from all of my shadows all the time. So it can be the most loving connection, but it is intended to trigger your shadow. So shadow contracts are contracts that we make so that we can go through the healing journey in some way, shape, or form. They are for our shadow selves to gain a voice, to be seen, to be heard, to be understood, to be loved, because that is the core nature of our shadow. Our shadow wants nothing more or less than to be loved. As we go through these readings, I'm going to open myself up fully to receiving the messages so that you have as much clarity as possible. And just for the whole of the collective, I just saw 222 and 444. So 2s and 4s may be quite significant right now. And that is the foundation of coming together with others. It's the blending of these energies. And that is what shadow contracts really are for. They're to help us work through our karma, to help us find our dharma, to help us navigate through the pains that we contain within ourselves that we may be too afraid to look at. We may hesitate to look at. We may not know how to even access. And then all of a sudden, someone walks into our life and boom, they're right there on the surface. We engage in some sort of research, or we just pick up a book for fun and read it, and we're triggered and we find something. Whatever it is, our shadows are seeking, they're seeking sanctuary. They're seeking awareness. They're seeking love, just like each and every one of us are. So with this reading, we have 4 different tarot decks, and the structure of the reading is the theme of each tarot deck is actually the theme of the shadow contract energy. So deck 1, we have the Hocus Pocus Tarot. Deck 2, we have the Shadow Journey Tarot. Deck 3, we have the Nightmare Before Christmas Tarot. And deck 4, we have the Necronomicon Tarot. We also are going to be utilizing the Spirits and Shadows Oracle deck. That is going to be awareness of the shadow energy. We are going to be accessing the ancestral impact of these shadow contracts, utilizing the Samhain Oracle. And we are going to be asking about what inner magic is awakening through these connections by utilizing the Witching Hour Oracle. So without further ado, I am going to leave you guys here. The timestamps are in the description box. Please, go ahead, and if you want to go through the meditation, I'm going to put on some meditation music. If you guys tend to choose a specific number all the time, like a specific pile all the time, feel free. Trust yourself, trust your intuition, trust your guides, and let yourself be led to what is right for you. Again, the timestamps are in the description box, and I will get that meditation music going. I'll see you at your piles, loves. Hello, Pile 1. If you chose the Hocus Pocus Tarot, this is the message about your shadow contracts. So I really did think that Spirit was going to want to work with the tarot first, but we're actually looking at the shadow awareness first. So we have this card, The Secret, and it kind of looks like roots. But at the same time, it looks to me like keys. And with The Secret, this is about things that are hidden within ourselves, things that we keep locked away, secrets that we don't want anyone to know, secrets that we may not even know. Sometimes we go through things in life and we lock away our experiences. We lock them away because we aren't equipped to face them, to deal with them, to acknowledge them. We aren't fully emotionally or mentally prepared at the time that these things happen. And when we come into contact with someone who triggers this aspect of the shadow, the secrets that we hold within ourselves, it is one of the most unsafe feelings you can experience, because suddenly all of you is just right there. And I've had this happen on my spiritual journey where I just couldn't keep holding things in. Everything that I was holding in, the experiences that I had gone through, the pains, the anguishes, the traumas, things that I had always believed I would take to my grave, secrets that I would keep until my dying breath. Suddenly, I could not hold them in any longer. This it can create the feeling of not being safe. But the awareness here is that this is a contract intended to trigger that part of your shadow because that person is a safe space, because that person will keep you in their best interest. They will honor you. They will honor what it is that you hold within yourself. All of the things that are locked away, the ways that you have operated that you're not proud of, or the things that you've experienced that you thought for sure no one could possibly understand, even if they don't understand on a personal, experiential level. They understand you in a different way. And I feel uncomfortable. It's like there's this weight on my chest within this energy, because when our secrets are suddenly at the forefront of our mind, and we know that pull, that calling is to share it, we can feel like if we open our mouths and we speak these truths out, everything in our life is going to unravel. But the truth of this, and what your guides and what spirit want you to be 100% aware of, is the only thing that is unraveling is the true nature of who you are. Everyone deserves forgiveness. I know that's a hard statement. It's a hard truth. It's hard to fathom that. But when we hold secrets based off of things that have occurred in our life, wrongs done to us, pains inflicted upon us, when we hold those secrets in and we choose to not walk down the path of forgiveness, we choose to hold these secrets, we're actually continually giving that person or those people that have harmed us in some way power. They're keeping power over your voice. This energy it's so held tightly because we can look at these moments and feel like, well, I made the mistake of getting involved with this person, or I made the mistake of this or that. And we hold these secrets because we believe that our mistakes are not worthy of forgiveness. We believe that the mistakes that we have made make us unworthy. And that unworthiness doesn't just apply to forgiveness. It applies to love. It applies to prosperity. It applies to abundance. It applies to happiness. It applies to joy. It applies to everything. One area of unworthiness seeps into every aspect of our life. This secret, or these secrets that are triggered with this connection, are because you're ready to let go. You're ready to forgive yourself. You're ready to forgive others. And when we give forgiveness to others, especially others who have harmed us in some way, when we give that forgiveness, it is never for them. And I will stand by that, because we give that forgiveness to let ourselves off the hook, to gift ourselves freedom from whatever happened and whatever trauma bonds or negative connections we had. Picking the Hocus Pocus deck, the theme of this is about becoming your own hero, especially after making mistakes. And it's about igniting that belief in magic in the world, that youthful wonder, that youthful curiosity, that awareness that things can really happen that seem like miracles, that miracles actually can happen, that miracles are truly possible, not just possible, but meant to happen for each and every one of us. So how we're going to look at this is these two cards are about the past, the connections that led to creating the secret. This is the present with a triggered shadow contract. And this is some advice for moving forward. Then we're going to look at the ancestral impact and how this is awakening your inner magic. So let's take a look at the past first. We have the Hermit card and Justice. Okay. The Hermit card has a tombstone on it, and it is, let's see, William Butcherson, Billy. And Billy loved Winifred and Sarah, and he fell under their spell and was punished because he betrayed Winifred for Sarah. But the Hermit talks about loneliness here. That's the energy that I feel, this loneliness, this feeling of despair, this feeling that everything that's happened has done nothing more or less than isolate you. Like you're walking through life and all you can expect is to go to the grave alone, or to be punished, to be burnt at the stake, to be crucified. It's a challenging energy in the past, because it's a kind of damned if you do and damned if you don't. So the connections and the experiences of the past that fueled the need to hold things in, to create a secret, was a fear that if anyone knew, it would end. It would end everything. It would end life as you know it. That you would always be subject to any kind of mistakes. Now, I'm going to share something that Spirit is calling for me to share. And I wrote about this in my first book, Chemistry with Kismet. In my first marriage, my first husband didn't believe in fidelity. We'll say he was a serial cheater. And I hit a point, one of the lowest points I've ever hit in my life, where I decided Hammurabi's code was the way to go. An eye for an eye, an ear for an ear. He cheated on me, so I was going to cheat on him. And I did. And I'm not proud of that mistake. I'm not proud of that action. But I have learned that in owning it, in recognizing I was operating in a way that isn't true to me, I created more wrongness from a wrong. That's why they say two wrongs don't make a right. There was no right in the situation, but I believed that if I were to ever share this truth, that I would be doomed to walk my life alone, that no one could ever possibly love me, no one could ever possibly trust me. And yet I shared it with the world in a book. I shared it with my husband before we even moved in together because I didn't want to lie anymore. I didn't want to hold that secret in. We can make mistakes in life. We can do the wrong thing. We can operate in the wrong frequency. We can be so hurt by something that we respond by hurting someone. And we can be so afraid that if anybody knew what we did, anybody knew what we engaged in and what we took part in, that we would just die. Our life would end. Everything that we knew would be gone because no one could possibly love someone who does those things. But it's not true. And that's why these things happen, so that we can move beyond these beliefs, these limiting beliefs about love, because love in its natural essence is nothing more or less than unconditional. It says, I am human, you are human, we make mistakes. We do the wrong thing. We light the black flame candle because we don't believe in certain things, because we don't perceive the world in certain ways. And we hold on to these things because if anybody knew, then you fill in whatever horrible situation or horrible scenario you can place into that context. But that doesn't have to be the truth. So you're in these shadow contracts because this truth of being isolated, of taking these secrets to your grave, of never being understood, of being attacked, being ostracized, because that's how justice works. These secrets need to come out so that you can realize that you are just as worthy of love as you believe other people are worthy of receiving your love. You are just as worthy of receiving love as you are of giving it. So let's take a look at the present energy within these shadow contracts. We have the Page of Potions. When our secrets come to light, when we start sharing them and we find that the belief systems that we had about us being punished for some sort of mistake, some wrongdoing, or that nobody would understand the harm that befell us, when we start sharing that and we realize, hey, I'm like purging my heart and purging my soul, and I am not being burnt at the stake. I am not being ignored. I'm not being cut off. I am being loved. You are actually gifting yourself this point of believing in the impossible again. You start believing in magic. You start believing in miracles. You start believing in goodness. And more than anything, you believe in love and forgiveness. Right now, these shadow contracts that have pulled so much up, that have brought forth so many things that were intended to stay shoved down, to remain in the silence and in the darkness and in secret. All these things are coming to light to make you start wondering at what other magical things can occur in your life. What else can you experience? The past was filled with really deep, really powerful spiritual lessons. And now with this shadow contract triggering these secrets, bringing them to light, there is this wonder about what could be. These aren't easy lessons to go through. So let's take a look at the energy of you moving forward. We have the Two of Potions and the Two of Candles. Twos, community, coming together. The Two of Candles are the Two of Wands and the Two of Cups. This is about you realizing that you can actually fathom a future with a person, that you can fathom a future in wholeness within yourself, that you can gaze at what could be, at the miraculousness of what this life could become and will become. Because instead of constantly looking over your shoulder and constantly feeling like you're being chased down by the secrets that you're holding within, those secrets are now out in the open, and it doesn't change how worthy you are of love. And more than anything, it has helped you come back together with love. Whether this is a shadow connection that is similar to mine with my husband, a true loving connection that has many, many challenges. If this is a connection with a best friend, or even just your connection with yourself, moving forward, allowing these secrets to come out and allowing yourself to start wondering about magic and blessings and miracles in your life, it's gifting you the opportunity now to dream up a new way of living, one filled with love, filled with laughter, filled with joy. Moving forward, you get to experience union. You get to experience holding the world in your hand and then going out and living that, because you contain it all within you. Every lesson we go through in life, every spiritual lesson that is heavy, that makes us feel as though we are broken, that we are damaged goods, that we are unlovable, those are the hardest ones to carry, to heal, and to move through. But they are the ones that strengthen us the most. And where you are right now is such a pivotal point, because these shadow contracts are for your greatest growth. They are to heal your heart. So let's see the ancestral impact. It says, All Hallows Eve, the card number 1. Call upon the voices that stir your senses through the night. Cast an unforgiven howl as you stomp your might through the ground. This is about the impact on your ancestors in this shadow contract, in your secrets coming to light, and you sharing them, and you reigniting that belief in magic, that belief in miracles. What that is doing is it's giving your ancestors a huge dose of healing so that your lineage, all the way back and then right back to you and all the way forward through your descendants, they will see the beauty in the darkness. They will see the beauty in the shadows. They will see the magic that is doing shadow work, healing the self, releasing, because you're gifting your entire lineage, all your ancestors in every form a voice. You're giving them a voice by giving yourself a voice. That is a beautiful miracle, and it brings abundant blessings. So let's take a look at how this is awakening your inner magic. We have 28 seasons of the witch with honoring cycles. And the card 9, secret trail with ascension. Oh my goodness. This is elevating your soul into something new, something unforeseen. We have the secret here twice. So releasing the secrets that you hold within are actually unlocking this awareness of growth and ascension that you hold within yourself. This mystical, magical energy. Honoring, where it says honoring cycles, this is about you recognizing that you've gone through this shadow energy. You've gone through this fear energy. You've gone through that cycle and that change. And you're now at a point of abundant growth. You're learning how to honor yourself. And as you do that, your soul is ascending. And when your soul ascends, your lineage also ascends. Past, present, future. I'm absolutely amazed by you, Pile 1, because any shadow contract that brings all your secrets to the surface, that is a powerful connection. Good or bad, it's only a perception because it is for your highest good, even if it doesn't feel like it. Because you're moving through a phase now where magic is tangible, miracles are daily, and your life honors you as much as you honor your life. Pile 1, this is the message about your shadow contracts. I want to take this time to say thank you so much for being here. Thank you for everything that you have gone through, all that you have overcome, all that you have opened within yourself. And thank you also to your guides, my guides, and the Great Spirit for facilitating the connection between our energies, for flowing these messages, this awareness, this illumination forth. May this reach all those in the collective of Pile 1, helping them to see how seen, how loved they are. Thank you. Pile 1, if this resonated and you would like to support my channel, I would truly appreciate that. Some of the ways you can do that are by liking this video, commenting in the comment section below. You can also subscribe to my channel. And if you go to the description box, there are links to donate to my channel if you feel called to. There are also links to my Amazon author page. You can get Chemistry with Kismet on Amazon, on paperback, Kindle, Kindle Unlimited, and all of my other books. So please feel free to check one or all of those ways of supporting my channel out, helping this channel reach the collective it is meant to, and helping our community to grow with love and support. All right, Pile 1, I love you guys so much. I'll see you at my next reading. Bye. Hello, Pile 2. If you chose the Shadow Journey Tarot deck, this is your message to help gain clarity on your shadow contracts. So we're actually starting with the shadow awareness here with the Spirits and Shadow Oracle, and you guys got the Maestro. And I love that it has a waxing and a waning moon with a full moon, because it's the little slivers of certain things. And even though this is the energy of the full moon with it blacked out, it's also the energy of a new moon. So it is both the full and the new moon, but it is also neither one of them at the same time. Now, the Maestro energy talks about control and trickery and illusion. And that's why I love the moons on here, because it does speak to the moon card in tarot. But this isn't about you tricking others or creating illusions for others. It's about the illusions created within yourself based off of other people controlling you with their thoughts, with their beliefs, with the illusions of this is how you have to be and this is who you're meant to be. Now, when we come into contact with someone in a shadow contract where the Maestro energy is what we're being called to be aware of, a lot of the times this is about us being triggered by someone. Now, I get this tension in my back in the middle between my shoulder blades. That's where I'm feeling this energy. This is the higher heart chakra. This is a tension of, I want to be a loving and a kind person, but everyone tells me that I have to act this way and I have to be this way. And so I lock this part of myself away. I lock this kindness of myself away, and I start being jaded and cynical, and I start judging others and being cruel or mean to myself because I know that's not my true nature. And more, the maestro becomes a bigger shadow, something grander than what we can fathom, because we're being controlled without understanding that that is what the core basis is. This is like the war of propaganda. When a war of propaganda begins, the truth is withheld in order to weave an illusion, in order to incite reactions from other people that serve the purpose of the person creating the propaganda. Now, this doesn't mean that you're in war times, though you may be. I don't want to exclude that. But this is about the nature of other people and the lies that they tell and the illusions that they weave, and how it can create a voice inside of you that you don't recognize, but somehow it's your voice telling you, well, you can't be this way, and you can't do this, and you can't believe this. All of these can't, won't, don't. It's a creation of limitation. So when you come into contact with this is that straw that broke the camel's back energy. It's when you come into contact with someone who is trying their best to be the maestro to you. They are trying to weave illusions into your reality. They are trying to hook you, lock you down so that they have control over you, your gifts, your blessings, your abundance, your love. So they have the say over everything. And this kind of shadow contract is one that anger comes into. And we don't like feeling anger. We're told that anger is bad, especially as women. Anger is not acceptable in women because it's very unladylike, so to speak. And this is not saying that it's not acceptable for men, but here's the thing. When you feel that spark of anger, that is this shadow energy going, hey, someone is trying to control me, and it goes against my core nature. And your spirit rises up like a warrior and says, no way, not going to happen. I will leave you in my dust. I will walk away so fast you will not even realize. I will set my boundaries. I will heal. I will manifest the life that I desire. And it will all be done in spite of you, despite everything that you're telling me, all of these illusions that you're weaving. So this shadow energy is the shadow energy of fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice. Never going to happen, because you won't be fooled a second time, because you have this warrior energy within you. So yeah, we can sit and wonder, why would this person come into my life? Why would this happen? What was the point of that? The point of that was to make you fight again, to get your haunches up, to get your back against the wall, to corner you like a feral cat. Because when a feral cat is cornered, it will fight to the death, and it will not be the cat that dies. It will be the opposition. That cat will get itself free every single time, because you cannot capture a feral cat with hardness, with illusions, with trickery, with control. You do it with love. Anyone who has ever come across a wild cat knows love is the only way that cat and you can be in the same place when the cat is backed against a wall. Love. Anger sometimes can be righteous indignation. And I believe that righteous indignation utilized out of love is one of our strongest allies in emotionality, because we look at it and we say, this is wrong. This is inherently wrong. And I'm a person that doesn't believe in in a lot of right and wrong, but when you try and control someone, especially someone who is gifted like you are, pile two, when you try and control that person because you like their gifts and you want their gifts for you, no, sir. Not going to happen. This is when you rise up and say, this is my boundary. You cannot cross this line in the sand. And if you put even a thought in your mind of sliding one toe over that line, you will see my back. I will never speak to you again. And this is what I call cold cutting. You cut someone off cold. Do not give them an explanation because you don't owe them an explanation. Once this shadow gets triggered, you start seeing all the ways that other people have had a say in your life, have had a say in your beliefs, have had a say in the way that you live your life and in who you are in the world. I have had many people trigger this particular shadow within me. Many people who have tried to present themselves as friends in order to control my gifts, in order to elicit a response from me so that they could utilize their gifts for themselves. They have used false stories. They have used false narratives. And then when I withdrew, they attacked. But here's the thing about cold cutting. Cold cutting means there's no way to contact. You can attack all you want, but all it's going to do is bounce off my boundaries. This is where the strength of self-empowerment comes in. And that is why these people or this person, and it's going to be different for all of you, came into your life. For me, it had to be multiple people because I'm somebody that believes that repetition is the key to learning. And I'm almost tempted to change that belief so I can learn the first time and stop having to go through these experiences. But these shadow contracts, it is a shadow contracting with a shadow, two people's shadows. The shadow of the other person is domination. Yours is the maestro. It is the one that recognizes this person is trying to dominate me, trying to control me, trying to dictate how my life is going to be, trying to weave using pretty words and pretty illusions how I am going to operate in the world. So let's take a look at the past energy and how this kind of played out. Aha, 5 of candles or 5 of wands and the Hierophant, 2 5s, change. They challenged the structure of your belief system. They challenged your spiritual authority. They challenged who you are as a leader in your own right. They challenged every kind of commitment, tradition, belief system that you had. They came up to you with nothing but competition energy, trying to say, I am the ruler, I am the Lord, I am the whatever. This is an icky energy to me, but it also is an energy that makes me go, no, because this is the energy of somebody who believes that you're their competition and they're better than you. And that belief system has created this need to control. Why? Because they don't actually believe they're better than you. They created that false narrative within themselves in order to try to control you. And the thing is because we're all equal and you're an energy that understands unconditional love, this can't touch you. But it can trigger this awareness of, oh, this is that operational level. And I get this sense with you guys that you guys have healed from this situation a long time ago. But when you've healed from that situation and you're reviewing it, there can be a desire to not go through it again, to not repeat the cycle. And that is kind of where I feel you guys are with the, well, I see how this has been shifted. I see how this has changed. I see how this lesson has come to pass in my life, but I don't want to continue moving through that lesson. The way to not continue moving through it is by recognizing that you have already healed it and making sure that you keep your boundaries really firm and that you don't worry about making cold cuts. You don't worry about walking away from anybody because you know that there are better things, people, places, experiences for you that will honor you, cherish you, love you, encourage you, and above and beyond all else, especially having already dealt with this kind of energy, will respect you and your sovereign authority in your life. So let's see where you guys are at right now. Haha, the Magician. Yes, see, manifestation. You guys are learning how to change what is going to be your future. So you recognize that this is an energy you no longer want to deal with. Now you're working with all the resources that you have gained from this shadow interaction. Some shadow interactions, some shadow contracts, when we have a shadow on shadow contract like you have here, they give us the most strength, or rather they awaken within us the greatest strength that we have. They awaken within us the ability to heal. They awaken within us our inner magician, the one that knows, as I will it, so shall it be. And this is what you're choosing for your life. I will no longer be controlled because I am the master of my realm. The magician is the master of the elements. He is the alchemist of the elements. I know that we have, the Temperance card, which is alchemy, but the magician is an alchemist of the physical world. He takes all of these resources and he creates something completely different with it. He creates abundance, he creates wealth, he creates a life. And from that, he moves into wisdom with a high priestess. So you're in this divine masculine energy of, I'm going to weave my life into a new reality. I am no longer going to engage in this conflict energy. No, that is not for me anymore. I cannot be controlled. I have sovereign authority over my life. I am the leader. I am the ruler. I am the dictator. I am the president. I am the queen. I am the king. I decide how my life is going to be. No one else has the right to have any control over it. I'm not competing with anybody because there is no such thing as competition. We are not competitors. We may come together, work together. We may be in the same field, but nobody is my competition because nobody is on my level. I'm not on anyone else's level either. We are in a world of our own. And I'm going to create that reality because I don't deal with the competition anymore. I don't deal with this. People want to come at me and battle and whatever. No, I am changing that. I'm changing the foundational structure within me. I'm going to create something completely different. I am going to weave every reality outside of the illusions of what this person or these people tried to control within me. I will do it in the way that is right for me because I am sovereign. So let's see the advice for you to with moving forward from here. We have the Page of Cloaks or the Page of Swords and the Two of Cloaks or the Two of Swords. Aha. Moving forward from here with you as the magician, this is about you getting curious about the different options, the different possibilities, the different ways that the pendulum can swing. This is about you going, I think I want to learn this. I think I want to try this. I think I want to do this. It's saying I don't have to make a firm decision on a direction because it's time for me to experience life. It's time for me to engage. It's time for me to enjoy. It's time for me. It's time for me. And in doing so, moving forward, you're getting curious about all the different possibilities, the different ways that this can play out, the different ways that you can take all your resources and create something new. There is such a wondrous energy here. I absolutely love it because it's you really weaving your life into reality. It's you really working magic. And I love that energy because you're taking what other people would have told you was false. It's a false belief. You can't do this. You can't do that. And you're saying, bet. Watch me. Watch me create this life. Watch me create all of these possibilities. I'm not going to choose this or that. I'm just going to swing my pendulum a bit, get a little bit of advice, and I'm going to try things out. Why? Because I'm going to test the waters. I've experienced that traditional, you have to fall to somebody else's authority. I'm not going to do that anymore. From now on, this is my rule, my world, my experience. If you don't like it, there's the door. This is my boundary line. And I really love this for you because this kind of shadow energy, yeah, there's anger. Yeah, there's righteous indignation. But at the heart of it all, there's a lot of pain. There's a lot of loss. There's a lot of questioning of why. Take this as your why. If you're asking why this energy, why this conflict, why did I have to go through that? Or why did this person treat me that way? They don't know why they did it. They don't have a reason that they can find. They can try to create one, but it is, again, them weaving an illusion of controlling the narrative. They don't know why. The reason why is because their shadow and your shadow were contracted in order to trigger each other. How this unravels for them, that's up to them. That is up to them. For you, this is about you taking back the power from other people, empowering yourself, and really owning your ability to create a different life. So let's see the impact on your ancestors. We have rooted 34. May you never tear the living ritual that is magic merged within the roots of your being, the soil of your soul. Ooh, buddy, there's some power here. And then we have 12. Crystals and herbs. Oh, what medicine, what sacredness to behold, a dash of healing straight from mother's home. The ancestral impact here is you're literally infusing your entire ancestral line, past, present, future, with the ability to access physical, tangible things in this world to heal. And no one is going to be able to disempower you. No one will be able to take your gifts or make you shun your gifts or hide your gifts again, because you have allowed this lesson to sink so deep in that it is now rooted. This strength, this warrior energy within you, this I will not be controlled, I am sovereign energy is now rooted in your essence, in your soul, and it flows through your body, through your veins, through your meridian system. Every beat of your heart is this warrior strength, not one that goes out and seeks battle, not one that is a warrior because you have to fight, but one that says, here's my strength. It's like you're someone tapped for Valhalla. And you know, this is where I'm meant to be. This is who I'm meant to be. This is now sinking deep. It awakens a strength within your heart, within your soul, and in turn within your physical form. And you connect with other things in this physical world: crystals, herbs, salt, water, air, fire, earth. Also that you can blend, meld, and create, weaving magic into your life. It's taking back your power by living in your truth fully, wholly, completely. So let's see how this is awakening your inner magic. We have Seasons of the Witch with honoring cycles, and the Sacred Vows with commitment. This is curious. You guys might be here from another pile in a prior reading. Both of these cards came out with that. And I'm curious about this. I think they both came out in that one. But here, how this is awakening your inner magic is you're recognizing this was a phase. This was a cycle that I had to go through. When we're doing a five of wands and a Hierophant lesson cycle, I just kind of want to spew profanities in to explain the essence of that struggle, of that challenge, of what that really feels like, because it is so frustrating. It is so angering, but it makes you stronger. And now you're honoring that cycle because now you get to get curious. Now you get to discover what kind of commitments you really want to get into, making those choices, spinning that wheel, honoring the seasons, honoring the changes, honoring the cycles, and honoring yourself and saying, I am making a commitment to me. I am going to say these sacred things to myself, and I will create the new world. I will create my new life, and I'm not going to put limitations on myself. So I'm going to allow myself to just experiment and explore and learn and grow and shift and change. And as I do, I continue to recommit to myself, to my energy, to my heart, to my truth, to my power, to my empowerment, to my authority, and to my sovereignty. This shadow contract set you free. And you may not feel it yet, but you're moving through it because you have given yourself a voice and you're using that voice to create new. So get curious, get adventurous, get wondrous, and let yourself explore. Let yourself learn and experience because this world is ready for you. And I can feel how ready you are for the next one. But honor the seasons and honor the cycle. Give yourself the commitment to say, I don't want to choose a direction. I just want to experiment. I want to explore. I want to learn and I want to grow. And when I'm ready, when I have done all of that and I'm ready, you can bet your bottom dollar that I am going to create the most magical things in my life. And commit to yourself and to this journey. Pile 2, this energy, amazing. Number 1. Number 2, thank you for being on my channel. Thank you for your strength. Thank you for enduring that energy. Thank you for continuing to move in your life, to grow, to change. And thank you so much for being on my channel. I want to say thank you to your guides, my guides, and the Great Spirit for facilitating the connection between these energies, for the way this energy is flowing, for how incredible the weight that was on the back got lifted through the empowerment of pile 2. This was an amazing reading, and I am so, thank you so much. I'm just so grateful. Thank you. Pile 2, if this resonated and you guys would like to support my channel, I would truly appreciate that. Some of the ways you can do that are by liking this video, commenting in the comment section below. You can share this video out on social media with your friends, with your family, with anybody that you think might resonate with it. You can also subscribe to my channel. And if you are feeling called, you can go check out my description box. There are links within that description box to donate to my channel, as well as links to my Amazon author page. Go check out my books. I think you guys would really enjoy them, especially something spiritually catchy. That is my third self-help spiritual book. It was written about this situation that I went through in my own way and how the revelations came in and I moved through all of that and some advice and channeled messages. So yeah, definitely go check that out. It's available in hardcover, paperback, Kindle, and Kindle Unlimited. And the link is in the description box. So with all that being said, pile 2, you are rock stars for going through this shadow contract. It's an honor. It's a blessing. I hope you have a beautiful day, and I will see you guys all at my next reading. I love you all. Bye. Hello, pile 3. If you chose the third deck, the Nightmare Before Christmas Tarot, this is your message about your shadow contracts. So the shadow awareness is the reversal card. So I'm going to show you this, and it's a skull upside down, and the roots are growing up. And those are roots, not trees, even though they kind of look like trees. And this is actually quite, this is such a synchronistic energy. And I am so amped up right now from this energy, because here's okay. Spirit and spirit guides, can we settle this energy down just a little bit so that it can flow a little smoother? Thank you. Okay, pile 3. This is a shadow reading, and I gave a trigger warning in the intro, but this energy here, the reversal card talks about a shift of perspective. Now, with the Nightmare Before Christmas tarot, the theme of it is about realizing the blessings that are right in front of you, that are right there for you, that are already in existence in your life. And the reversal card talks about shifting your perspective. So even though these are roots, you can shift your perspective and say, you know what? Those are trees. I have flipped upside down. There is an episode of Bones that I always think of that episode with images like this, the same as with images of the Hanged Man card. And she talks about how it takes 3 days to change your perspective, 3 days to realize the truth. And it's an episode where a tree gets uprooted and they find the bones of someone in the roots of the trees. And she's listening to recordings from this surgeon whose body they found. And she's investigating this surgeon's life, and she's working at night instead of during the day, which is oppositional to her. So everything is upside down, and it takes 3 days. 3 days for her to figure it out, to understand, to get what she needs out of it. 3 days for her to find the truth. This is about 3 situations, 3 contracts, 3 moments of your life that have helped flip your world upside down. And now I'm going to share something with you guys that I haven't even shared in therapy yet, which I will tomorrow. But this weekend, I had a massive revelation right before my 3rd therapy session. And it was this understanding of the root of my entire mentality, my PTSD, all of me going into freeze mode. So even though I come to these readings and I seem really well and really confident, and really everything, I have been struggling so deeply lately. I've been struggling immensely, intensely lately. And my therapist helped me identify that I was in a state of freeze. And I'm the kind of person, ever since I wrote my first book, Chemistry with Kismet, I've operated with the same healing steps. The 5 steps in there. There's a catalyst moment that hits, that happens. And from that, there comes a time to review, to look to the past so that you can come back to the present. And I always operate with that looking to the past to get back present. I look for origin points of things with myself, with my healing journey. So I was seeking this origin point for how I got to this state, how I fell so far, how I froze so much that even my physical body was cold. I was frozen. There were so many things that I could list, but I needed to understand the origin point and what that shift was that got me into that state. And I had this massive revelation. I watched a Bahati Life video, and then I got a double confirmation today with a video from the energy, or formerly known as the tarot priest. And it was this question, who am I becoming? And I had spent a therapy session with my therapist last week talking about how I felt like I was going through a phoenix journey. And those journeys were so challenging. I literally just did a phoenix reading, and it is such a challenging journey. And I felt like I feel like I'm in a liminal space where I'm not who I once was, but I'm also not who I am becoming. And that question, who am I becoming? Who am I becoming? It got into my head, and I started shifting everything around. And then I realized, I've talked about this on my channel before, but I had a diagnosis of Ehlers-Danlos in February, March area of this year. And it didn't change my physical health, but it changed my relation to the medical community, because I had been living for 14 years under the umbrella of a false diagnosis of an umbrella syndrome, fibromyalgia. And so every time I would be in pain, I would spontaneously dislocate a knee, I would tear something, or my body would start going haywire. And I would go to the emergency room in this horrible state. I was treated like a drug seeker. I was treated like I was crazy. I was treated like I just was anxious. I wasn't heard. I wasn't respected. I wasn't listened to. And so I was mistreated consistently over and over and over again, compiling so much medical trauma. And all of a sudden, in a matter of moments, everything changed for me. I didn't have to fight anymore. I didn't have to fight medically anymore. And I had resigned myself to doing that. And I had been doing it for 14 years, fighting, telling them that they were wrong, telling them that they were missing what was actually going on. And suddenly, my entire spirit settled when I got that diagnosis, because I knew it was true. Sometimes we have to go through things. You can look at it like I had my uterus removed, and then I had an ovary removed, and my third one was my last ovary was removed, and then I got my diagnosis, and everything in my life changed. So I jumped into a position with Planet Fitness here in town where I would have to be in that same fight energy. And when I left that, I didn't have anything to keep fighting anymore. And I had run the course of all of the fight I had left in my system, and I found myself frozen, and then every constant in my life crumbled away. So I froze. I didn't know what to do. But when we had this reversal moment, this moment where I had this aha moment this weekend where it was like, okay, that's what changed. That's what changed. This way of living that I had resigned myself changed dramatically, so I didn't have to do it anymore. But it's the most familiar way for me to live. Now, everything is different. It's like having a reversal of fortune. So the shadow contract that you're in has been to give you that perspective shift. And when we go through these perspective shifts, I tell you what, guys, this has been the hardest year of my life. And that is saying a lot, because I've been divorced. I was abused by my first husband for 8 years in horrible, horrendous ways. I have suffered from every form of abuse imaginable throughout my entire life. I literally watched my dad die when I was 10 years old on the side of the road. And this year has been the hardest of my entire life. This year. From this shifting of the calendar into January until now, this has been the hardest year of my life. It has challenged me the most. And when you go through this reversal, this change of perspective, it means that you are at the point, the lowest point, the hardest point, the point where everything gets flipped upside down, topsy-turvy, doesn't make any sense whatsoever. And all you can do anymore is shift your perspective. That's it. That's all you get is a perspective shift. Hi, Willow. Do you want to come say hi? Come here. Come here, baby. Yeah. Say hi. Say hi, Pile 3. Say hi, Pile 3. Don't like. Sorry, guys. She just licked my microphone. Hi, baby. You want to go outside? Is that what you're yelling at me for? I'm going to go let her out real quick. Wow, you guys could literally feel Jade and Willow running because they shook the whole desk. I'll be right back. Okay, guys, I'm back. Thank you so much for your patience and for, Willow dropping in. She seems to be doing that in my readings lately. But what I was saying, when we go through these perspective shifts, when everything that we thought we knew suddenly no longer exists, it's like the world continues moving forward, but your world, your inner world, has suffered doomsday level damage. You're going through an internal Armageddon and nothing makes sense. And you go out into the world and people are talking and laughing and engaging in life and everything seems so great to them. And you're wondering, how in the world do they not notice that everything inside of me is crumbled to ash? How do they not see that I have suffered such a catastrophic moment in my life where nothing makes sense anymore? And someone comes along and they look at you and they see it. They see you. That's what this shadow contract is. This is a light to a shadow contract. Your shadow of destruction, of loss, of PTSD, of trauma, of sadness, of Armageddon internally. And you're walking around carrying it, and someone looks and they say, that looks like a heavy burden. Can I help you carry it? Oh man, pile 3. That's why this person came in. They didn't come in to create more damage. They came in to tell you that what you feel, what you're experiencing, what you know, that they see it. That they see you. Oh my gosh. Let's take a look at the past. What led you to this? Yeah. We have the 9 of Needles or the 9 of Swords and the Wheel of Fortune. Being trapped in the merry-go-round of anxiety, fear, worry, doubt, feeling like you're on display, you're trapped and stuck on display, and people just keep throwing their hatchets at you. They just keep using you as target practice. It's like no matter how hard I try, I can't get this wheel to turn. I can't get my fate to change. I can't shift this. It won't change. And it becomes this laughable, but not in a funny, haha, laughable way. It becomes laughable in the cynical, jaded way where the light gets sucked out of the world. And you can't see any blessings and you can't see any benefit because everything is flipped upside down. Because there is no such thing as luck. There is no such thing as destiny. And if fate is real, fate is a bitch. Fate is a bitch just like karma is a bitch. And that is all you are dealing with. Pile 3, I am sending you guys like the biggest energetic hug because I know this energy. I know this challenge. And I have spent the past year telling myself every day as I have experienced energy just like this, telling myself every day, I will get my way out of this. I will get through this. I will succeed. I will heal. I will come back. I will know myself again. And that is the core of this energy. When you stop knowing who you are, because the losses have been so great, because the anxiety has taken over, because it feels like every turn of the wheel is nothing more than a smackdown and a beatdown, energetically, emotionally, mentally, physically, and there's no place to go. Hell, you can be just like Jack Skellington, start looking elsewhere and look at this place, Christmas Town, and just wish that you could be that you could go that way, because you want to experience something different, something better than this horror show of life. Let me experience joy and giving and happiness. And so you take for granted everything that you have in your life because your life is taking you for granted. And it's okay. It's okay. Because you're seen. Because you are seen. Because you are loved. Because this moment, this experience that led you to flipping upside down, this is that reversal. This is the turning of the wheel. This is the moment because someone has entered your life to shine a light on you so you can realize that you are light. To help you find the origin point, to help you find how this changed, how this shifted, so that you can recognize your strength in overcoming. So let's see where you are presently. Oh, yay, Page of Potions. I say yay because it's like, where you are right now is that small bit of hope because this contract finally came in. It may be, I'm actually seeing somebody like picking up a kitten. It may have been an animal or a book, just reading a book for fun, and something about it woke something back up within you, that feeling of, oh my God, this world is filled with possibility. This world is filled with potentiality. This world is filled with hope. What felt impossible now doesn't exist because everything that felt impossible has already exploded within me. It's already crumbled down. It's already died. So the only thing that is impossible is reliving the past, because the past has had its way with you. Right now, you're starting to access hope again. That's why these are now trees instead of roots. You have turned what was ripped up and ripped out into something different, into growth. You have decided that if everything is going to flip on its head, if my life is going to be turned upside down, I'm not even going to take lemons and make lemonade. No, I am going to take lemons and I'm going to grow an entire grove of lemons. I'm not going to make lemonade. I'm going to make more and more and more lemons and sell them to somebody else to make the lemonade. I'm going to take that seed from that shriveled dry lemon, and against all odds, I'm going to create an entire grove of lemon trees. And lemon trees are intensely, immensely healing and clearing. So let's see the future energy as far as what advice is there for you moving forward. We have the Six of Presents, or the Six of Pentacles, and the 10 of Needles. I actually love the 10 of Needles being here because this is about a balance and a harmony coming in after the final sword has finally been placed. It's this, finally, it's done. It's over. It's past. It's done. And now things can be rebalanced. So let's see the ancestral impact for you guys. We have voices, 42. With a tug at the gut, feel them romance your very breath. Listen to the gentle flickering within your eyes, for this is where they guide. You see, and it's again, 1, 2, 3. 3. That final sword was placed. That final needle placed, but it wasn't placed in your back. It was just put in a cushion. And you are able to close it out now. Why? Because nothing is impossible anymore. Because you have shifted this. And so now you're able to hear your ancestors. Now they are ready to bring you along the journey that is true for you. And that means that it's time to take that next step forward. And I say it in the tone that I do because taking that next step forward feels like you are risking everything. When you are coming from this energy and someone comes in and shines a light, all you want to do is pause in that light. I want to pause. I want to wait. I want to hold firm and rooted in this light because it's warm, because it feels good, because it makes me feel loved again. And it's time now to move forward. And the desire to not repeat is so strong. But remember, you've learned that the only impossibility is repeating this. You don't need to go through it again. It may have been the darkest moment of your life where everything shifted, changed, and blew up. But now it's time for you to let your heart lead you. You have freed the voices of your ancestors because everything that once was has crumbled. And now they can sing. Now they can speak. Now they can reach to you, connect to you, and let you know that you are never, were never, and will never again feel or be alone. So let's see how your inner magic is awakening. We have the forests with seeing the bigger picture and witching herbs with nourishment. Yes. Just like Jack realized how blessed he was to have Halloween Town, the love, the connections, something that he was passionate about, something that he was good at. He wasn't able to see it because it didn't feel as shiny, but he didn't belong anywhere else. This was his home. This was where he belonged. This was what nourished him. You have gone through the fires of hell. You have walked through them. And it is helping you to see that, yes, everything is connected. There is an origin point. And so with there being an origin point, I get to choose an end point and I can start a new cycle. I can start something new. Everything is connected. Everything matters. And now I get to be nourished and loved and healed and made whole by the universe, by my guides, by my ancestors, and by this light contracted into my life that can see my shadows, can see the damage, can see the destruction, and loves me because I am that way, because I have been through that. They love me because I am worthy of it. So though it may feel like it is a risk for you to go seek this next adventure, this next journey, this next round through the wheel, trust your intuition, trust yourself, and trust your new perspective. This was a connection that was meant to make you shake all the way down to your roots so that you could shift into a new way of being. And it is a blessing, just like you are. Oh, pile 3. Oh, I am sending you guys like the biggest hug ever because I see how this was a challenge. I understand the shift, and this is a lot of energy to be in all the time. And so I want you guys to know I see you, I love you, I respect you, and I cherish you being here. Thank you so much. I want to say thank you to your guides, my guides, the Great Spirit, for facilitating the connection between our energies, for helping it settle so I could navigate through the messages, the emotions, the awareness, bringing these messages forth for the collective of pile 3. And thank you for helping that connection with the light to meet their shadow in love, because I can tell that pile 3 genuinely were ready for it. And thank you so much for this being the time for them. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Pile 3, huge hug, first of all, like big energetic Reiki hug from me to you if you choose to accept it. If this resonated and you guys want to support my channel, I would truly appreciate that. You can do that in a multitude of ways, liking this video, sharing it, commenting on the video. You can also subscribe to my channel. You can also go to the description box where there are links to donate to my channel, as well as links to my Amazon author page where you guys can check out my books, Chemistry with Kismet Tarot and What If? Concepts Challenging the Norm, something spiritually catchy. And there's a smattering of retrograde guidebooks from 2022. They do go through the retrograde cycles, but there are some really good lessons in there. So you guys can go and check those out. All of those links are in the description box. Any and all of these are great ways to support my channel, support my creation, support my creativity, and support me, but also to help get these messages out to the collective and help with the algorithm. All of them are very much appreciated, never expected, always such a blessing for me when you engage. So, pile 3, I love you guys. Thank you again for being here, and I will see you at my next reading. Have a beautiful day. Bye. Hello, pile 4. If you chose the Necronomicon deck, this is your message about your shadow contracts. So we're starting off with this shadow awareness energy, and you guys have the card of foresight. Now, when we come into a shadow contract, in all the different ways that it can manifest, it triggers something within ourselves that we have repressed, something that we have shut away, have shunned from ourselves. This foresight card is what has been triggered. And in that way, this is a kind of message of awareness for you that even though it's our shadows being triggered, even though it's parts of ourselves that we have repressed, that we have pushed away, it's not always a bad thing to come into a shadow contract. In 2011, I went through a massive spiritual awakening. It was very traumatic. There was a lot of different circumstances at play. But what happened during that time was my psychic and spiritual gifts came online for the first time since I was a kid. I had had intuitions. I had had these clear knowings, these clear cognizant moments, but I wasn't consciously aware of what was going on. I just knew I had some sense of awareness outside of my 5 senses, on and off. And I used to joke all the time about, oh yeah, well, I'm psychic. And when I went through that, I was in a really, really toxic environment. I was in an abusive marriage, and it was just the worst of circumstances imaginable during that time. But I went through this huge awakening, and I could hear spirits, and I understood what was going on. And then my life was threatened because I was using my gifts. And so I pushed them away more and more. After my divorce, over time, I got to this point where I felt like I was up against a wall. I had no other choice but to rely solely on faith for healing, for help, for strength to get through some of the worst circumstances I could have imagined at that point. And that was when I went through a second spiritual awakening. I have a hard time calling it an ascension because for me, it felt like all of me was coming online. And it wasn't that it was an unfamiliar territory. It was simply that I was safe enough to let it all come online, let myself dive into it, let myself explore it. And that was back in 2020. It was the same person that triggered me both times. But the second time, I allowed for this part of me that I had shoved and repressed, shoved down and pushed away. I let it come up. I let it come to life. And it brought me here to this channel. Same person, same situation or similar situations. I was being threatened. It was not a good situation for me mentally or emotionally, but spiritually, it was a catalyst. This energy here is very similar. It's this awareness that it didn't matter, and it doesn't necessarily matter the who of it. What matters is the situation created the catalyst for you to finally realize what you contain within yourself. Foresight is a beautiful gift to have. This is the ability not just to envision the future that you desire, but to envision the future that is destined for you that will unfold. It also comes with what my mom likes to call a blessing and a curse. Premonitory visions can be challenging. But where we might feel like this isn't safe, this isn't right, Spirit is saying, trust this process. Let's find out the past energy of the contract that led you to this point. So we have the 10 of Books, which is the 10 of Swords, and the 9 of Pentacles. Okay. The contract before was one that, again, it's not about the who. It's about the energy, the environment, the situation. And I feel like your guides and Spirit are being so clear about that because the energy of the situation, whatever the contract was, however it played out, it was like the final nail in the coffin. It was that final hurtful moment for you to say, I am done connecting. I'm done relying on this connection. I'm done engaging in it because I am ready for my own independence. I am ready to plant seeds for my own growth, for my own life, my journey, my path, my abundance, my prosperity, my success. Everything helped shift you out of the mentality that this connection was something that was more important than you, than your spiritual gifts, than your spiritual calling, than your spiritual growth. It was the final moment where you said, okay, I am done with this journey. I am done with this mentality. I am going to own the truth of who I am. I don't need to be hyper independent. I don't need to be codependent. I seek those who will be interdependent with me, who will come to me whole, who will come to me healed, who will come to me as themselves, authentic, genuine, who will come to me and who will meet me at my level. I no longer want to engage in this old storyline. I am choosing a new path. I am choosing a new growth. And sometimes those are the hardest connections that we have, because those are the connections where we have to go through the entire sword's energy. We have to have this brilliant idea. We have to be trapped in indecision, trapping ourselves, go through breaking down, heartbreak, gut-wrenching exhaustion and anxiety, and losing ourselves and finding ourselves. And we go through this until we realize that that journey is ready to close. It's not that it wasn't worth it. It's not that it's not worth it or that person isn't worth it. Again, this is 100% about you. This is more an energy of you and your past. Your past in terms of all the connections you've had in your life, all the ways that you've interacted with other people, and how that has helped you come into your own independent energy. Because when we go through these things and when we're ready to end this chapter, we're ready to stand on our own and say, this is my worth, this is my value, this is who I am. And I can actually see where I'm meant to go from here. And that means that you're able to let go of a lot that occurred in your past. There may have been many different shadow connections in your life, shadow contracts in your life. But this is also spirit, our divine creator itself, coming in and saying, there was a contract here with me. You contracted here with me for me to help you understand that you're here as a witness. You're here to experience me, and you're here to experience this life fully. And it may have presented in a multitude of other people, but it wasn't necessarily them. It was spirit moving through them, helping to bring this out of you, helping to bring this back into your awareness, because this is an important part of your journey, an important part of your life, an important part of your soul. And it can feel scary, and it can feel like you are walking a tightrope over shark-infested waters, and they're all very hungry. And one wrong move, and you're shark bait. Because you see things and you know things. You're aware to a heightened degree. Hypersensitive is what the scientific and psychological community like to call it. You are a sensitive in many ways. But it was always spirit helping to pull this out of you. And sometimes we lose that. We aren't able to see that because we're so focused on what's going on around us, who's around us, where we're going, what we're doing, that we forget to allow for our sensitivity to open up, for our awareness to be able to be brought to that point. So let's take a look at where you are presently. The Page of Torches or the Page of Wands. This is about your adventure. This is about you starting to allow yourself those pieces of inspirational ideas, those pieces of, or sparks of inspiration, sparks of, oh, maybe I should go down this path. Maybe I should explore this. You know, this card reminds me a lot of Indiana Jones, and Indiana Jones arguably got into a lot of trouble when he was younger. He did a lot of things. But he also had a lot of really tough connections and really tough situations that he had to navigate through, but he always did it. He had help along the way, but it was always him conquering. It was always him working it out. It was always him who was able to see which direction, which path, which, puzzle to solve. This is about you becoming the Indiana Jones of your own life. This is about you going, okay, I'm going to go explore this because there's something in this that is going to help me grow, help trigger something within me that I need, something that I can feel and I can see the purpose of it, but I can't see how it's all going to play out. So I need to go and experience it. And that's a really great place to be, because you're now able to see, you know what? These tiny little sparks, I know that they grow into embers and they're going to blaze into this flame of awareness, this flame of something. I'm on a path, I'm on a journey. I've closed this chapter and now I know my own strength and I know my own fortitude and I know that I can keep going on this path. So let's see your advice for moving forward from here. Okay. We have the Queen of Pentacles. Interesting. We have Shame and Decay, which is the card 19, which is also the Sun. And we have the Ace of Torches. Okay. So moving forward, this is about you nurturing the parts of yourself that you have felt possibly ashamed of, or that you have pushed away to the point that you thought that they would fall away, that they would die from you. This is about you really getting back into nurturing and loving all of that. And especially this foresight, especially your spiritual gifts, your ability to see, to know, to understand things that are outside of the realm of this physical world. You're able to take that and make it physical. You're able to move through these parts of yourself. You're able to recognize. And moving forward, you'll be able to identify more areas in which you have felt that shame, where you have felt like you've let things fall away from you that you shouldn't have, or people fall away from you that you shouldn't have. And you're going to have that clarity, that inspiration that is literally gifted from the divine creator for you to continue moving on your path. So moving forward, this is about you really recognizing that it was never about the who. It was never about the connections. It was always about every instance and every moment in which you knew something ahead of time, or you felt something, or you saw something, you dreamt of it ahead of time, and it came to pass. All of those were spirit coming to you, because that is the true nature of this particular energy, this particular pile, and the shadow contracts. It's literally with our divine creator. That makes you an exalted. It makes you one of the exalted, because the divine creator has been working through all of these energies. And that would be why it would be hard to discern, because there was always going to be love existent within the connections, because the divine always loves us. But sometimes the divine has to work through ways that we can't always understand. That's why we always hear about things like blessings in disguise, because the divine is working in ways that we don't always necessarily understand, because there's a grander picture to it all. And it can confuse us and leave us feeling like we're left out in the cold, like we don't matter. But I am here to tell you, pile 4, the energy that I feel here is such assurance from the divine that you are exalted, you are one of the chosen, that you are this gifted, and that you are always loved and have always been loved. So the shame of loving someone that may have led you down that 10 of books path to where you had to close it and say, no, I'm going to do this on my own. I'm going to go my own direction. Even though you're at a point where you are starting to get that inspiration, you're starting to get that motivation back. It doesn't change that it was a challenging journey. It doesn't change that it was a hard pill to swallow and a hard road to walk. But feeling like, well, why did I walk it for so long? Why did I engage in it for so long? Why this and why that? When we ask those why questions, the divine wants to answer. And for you in particular, the answer is because you have always recognized divinity when it comes towards you, even when it comes in a form of someone who is harming you in some way, shape, or form. So now it is for you to really nurture yourself and allow for an illumination of these areas within yourself that you've pushed away, that you have felt shameful about, because those parts are ready to come back to life. They're ready to be reignited. They're ready for the light to shine within the darkness. So let's see the impact on your ancestry. So your ancestral impact. We have, oh my God, this is amazing. Greet the darkness. Here where the spine bends and the mouth quivers, breathes the hidden, the pieces that make you whole but cut deep with all their sharp edges. And then we have witch, and we have grab hold, allow the dwelling fire within belly, awaken all that is, a mere glimpse, a delicate pull at the very roots, living in the alchemy of self. I have to cover this one up just because there's some stuff that YouTube doesn't like. So this is awakening within you, this other self. And as you awaken within that, your ancestry is helping you, or rather, these connections are helping to awaken a magical line within your ancestry. They're helping to really fill. There's like, I'm seeing a timeline and I'm seeing it get flooded with water, but it's not quite water because it's very iridescent. And there's this glow to it, and it's spanning through this dark tunnel, but it's glowing. And so all of the darkness is being illuminated. And within that darkness, there's this pulsation, this light that is just pulsing, and it is pulsing in time with your heart. So your ancestors, it's like your heart is beating in unison with your ancestry. Awakening to these gifts has awoken a magic that has lain dormant for generations. I just heard centuries. This connection, this innate, automatic, natural connection that you have to the divine, it's healing your ancestry in so many ways. And as we heal that, as that healing occurs, so too do we heal. So too do our descendants heal. So this is about really coming forth and alchemizing so much pain, so much anguish, so much shame, so much guilt, so many things that have fallen away, because you're awakening them as you awaken. And we just had one of the candles go out, which I definitely take as confirmation. So let's look at what is awakening as far as your inner magic goes. We have the witching hour, favorable circumstances, and the elements, back to basics. So what's awakening within you is you're returning back to, when it says back to the basics, it's back to the most authentic version of yourself, the most, I wanted to say earthy, but some of you may be earth signs or have your IC in an earth sign. So your fourth house cusp for some of you, or your Imam Koli, it's the point that's the lowest on the chart in an earth sign. That would be Capricorn, Virgo, and Taurus. You don't have to have those for it to apply, but I'm just picking that up here. But with this is, the more that you awaken to this, the more that you're able to see that you have a connection, a natural connection to the element of spirit. And because of that, you have a natural connection to all of the elements. And with that, you have the ability to foresee what the most favorable circumstances will be. Some of you may be awakening maybe waking up at night during the witching hour, which is, it's seen as midnight, but it can also be, between midnight and 3 a.m., sometimes as much as 4 a.m., anytime in those hours, 12 to 1, 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, sometimes even 4 to 5, you wake up and you're doing this because you're being filled with this foresight. You're being filled with this healing. You're being filled with that water, that iridescent pulsing water that I keep seeing. The more that you allow yourself to see the light in the darkness, the more that you allow yourself to realize that it was never about the who's, it's never about the what's, but the whys actually matter for you. And especially for this pile, and very specifically for this pile, the whys matter because the whys are what spark you. The whys, when we ask why did this happen? Why did this occur? And we have the foresight to see what may come, we actually are gaining wisdom about what has transpired that led us to this point. Your shadow contracts were literally designed in this lifetime to bring you to spirit, to bring you to yourself, so that you could connect with the natural elements, so you could connect with the most authentic, most basic version of your soul, the most ancient part of who you are, so that you could connect, so you could design, create the circumstances needed. And as you move through this energy, as you move forward and you address these final things, you shine that light. What you're doing is you're creating the foundational circumstances for what you have seen to come. This is why Spirit is coming forth in this particular reading. The divine creator itself is coming forth in this specific pile to say, what I have shown you of your future, we are now working together to create. I show you what shall be to give you the strength and the spark to light that torch. For you are the one that shall light it. You are the one that shall illuminate, and you are the one that creates. I walk beside you. I stand with you. I give you strength when you are weak. I lift you up when you have fallen. You are the creator in this life. And I come to you consistently because you are creating from ancient wisdom in a new way. And this is blessed. Wow. Okay. Pile 4. Wow. Okay. I'm in awe of you, pile 4. This has been incredible. I want to give you guys a lot of credit because it's not that I can't feel how challenging it is, but it's that your energy is so calm in the face of what has transpired that I feel very peaceful. So thank you for everything that you've done. I want to say thank you to your guides, to my guides, to the Great Spirit for facilitating the connection between these energies, for bringing this awareness to light, to the forefront, and to the collective of pile 4. Thank you for always seeking to reach them, always bringing love to them, and helping them to accept the truth of their own divinity. Thank you for using me as a conduit for your healing messages. Thank you. Pile 4, if this resonated and you would like to support my channel, I would truly appreciate that. Some of the ways that you can do that are by liking this video, commenting in the comment section below. You can subscribe to my channel, share this video on social media with your friends, with your family. You can also go to my description box. There are links in my description box to donate to my channel. There are also links to my Amazon author page where there are a multitude of books. I have published 9 books. 3 of them are spiritual self-help books, and 6 of them are planetary retrograde guidebooks. Go check those out. They're available hardcover, paperback, Kindle Unlimited. And yeah, all those links are in the description box. You guys contributing to my channel in any way, shape, or form really does make such a huge difference in my life, for my channel, but also to help these messages reach the collective. And I am so deeply grateful for each and every one of you. All right, pile 4, this is where I leave you. I love you all. I hope you have a beautiful day, and I will see you at my next reading. Bye.